audience. Okay, there you go. Okay. I know that half of you currently smoke, used to smoke, or love someone that does smoke. So I think you will find this speech worthwhile. How many of you know the dangers of nicotine to the body? I'm sure you all know that it is dangerous and not healthy for you, but do you know why? What about nicotine is so dangerous? What about it causes cancer or heart attacks? Those are all valid questions. I hope by the time I'm done this speech, you all would have learned something and some of your questions would be answered. I have spent the past few weeks researching and reading journals based on the dangers of nicotine to the human body. I have also witnessed my loved ones suffer from multiple health concerns, including cancer and heart attack, which was all because of cigarettes. My main points to discuss today are the effects nicotine has on the brain, the damage it does to the rest of the body, and lastly, cancer. The CDC estimates that smoking kills 6 million people around the world each year. Let's start with discussing what nicotine does to the brain. I'm sure most of you only associate cigarettes with cancer, but you would be surprised the effects it has on the brain as well. I read an article that was published in 2018 called "From E-cigs to Tobacco, Here's How Nicotine Affects the Brain." And their research shows that if you smoke as a teen or a young adult, it increases the risk of psychological disorders and cognitive impairment later in life. Nicotine not only causes psychological disorders, but it affects the part of the brain that's responsible for attention, memory, and learning. Patricia Folan, director of the Center for Tobacco Control in New York, published an article about the effects on the brain. Nicotine can cause mind-altering properties and cause cravings that are uncontrollable. It is worse for teens and young adults because their brains are still developing. I also want to discuss what nicotine can do to other parts of your body. Nicotine is one of the most toxic poisons and takes action rather quickly. In 2013, American College of Gynecologists state that nicotine could lead to diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, infertility, neurobehavioral defects, and respiratory failure. That all sounds pretty scary if you ask me. Let's touch base on smoking while pregnant. So many women do it, but I wonder if they realize the harm it can do to their unborn child. Smoking during pregnancy can affect fetal brain development and cause stillbirth. Nicotine can also cause hardening of the arterial walls, which then leads to a heart attack. Smokers have a 70% higher death rate from coronary artery disease than non-smokers do. Smoking is a huge risk factor for heart disease. Heart disease is the second deadliest disease caused by smoking. Cancer is number one. Finally, let's discuss cancer. We all relate cigarettes to cancer, but yet people still continue to smoke and risk it. According to information found on heart.org, which was updated in 2015, there are numerous chemicals in cigarettes. It is no wonder why they would cause cancer. Some of those chemicals include butadiene, which is used to manufacture rubber, arsenic is used to preserve wood, and cadmium, which is metal that is used to make batteries. Those are just a few of the hundreds of chemicals that people inhale every day while smoking a cigarette. I put a visual together for you guys to be able to see all of the stuff in a cigarette. It includes tar, pneumonia, also used for like toilet cleaner, nicotine, which you can find in bug spray, hexamine, which is barbecue lighter, and acid. Here's the metal that makes batteries. Butane, which is lighter fluid. Here's another acid. Methanol, which is like a rocket fuel. Carbon monoxide, arsenic, which is a poison. I read a journal published in 2015 on National Center for Biotechnology Information, and it stated that nicotine affects cell proliferation, oxidative stress, and DNA mutation, which they all lead to cancer. Several studies have proved that nicotine has a large role in tumor progression and speeds up the process of the spread of cancer. Smoking while trying to fight cancer is even more dangerous. nicotine affects the tumor proliferation and causes resistance to chemotherapy and radiotherapeutic agents. Nicotine replacements like gum and patches can still cause side effects, but it has much fewer negative effects compared to cigarettes. In conclusion, you now know a few important reasons why nicotine is dangerous for the body. We discussed the effects it can have on the developing brain and what it can do to your brain even years down the road. We also discussed the harm that it can do to the rest of your body and all of the health concerns that it can lead to. And lastly, the most important one that I touched base on was cancer. Lung cancer is the deadliest form of cancer and is normally caused from cigarettes. If you are smokers, then I hope this has been a wake-up call for you and what you are doing to your precious body. Your body should mean much more to you. Another important fact that I want you all to remember is that secondhand smoke is responsible for almost 900,000 deaths per year. If you do not feel the need to quit for your own health, at least quit for the health of the people around you, including your spouse and children. The end.
You have to
yeah.
go back around, and you didn't quite answer.
Oh. There you go.